So I'm not going to run for office in 2018. That's not where I can make the biggest difference. 2018 is going to be a fierce contest for me and for everyone on our team. 2018 is going to be a straightforward debate between two radically different visions of America. I'm going to spend it rallying Americans behind our vision, a just, inclusive, prosperous America. My fight is not just in California. My fight is in removing Donald Trump from office and from power. And that starts with taking the House back in 2018. I have 3 announcements today about how we will make that happen. First, I'm putting $30 million behind NextGen America's youth organizing program to unleash the full political power of young voters. They're now the largest block of eligible voters in America, capable of swinging elections on their own, and they are horrified by what's happening in Washington, D.C. They're anxious for change. They are ready to participate in that change.
There's a great opportunity to do that in a very young city. Las Vegas is a young place. It hasn't been around hundreds of years. It's really 70 years old. It's kind of a young spot. And you can get things done quickly there. So our solar array, if we were trying to do that here in New York, would probably be 3 years of permitting. What we're doing in terms of, we change laws. How easy is it to change a law in New York State? I don't know. But when you're the largest employer and the largest taxpayer in the state of Nevada, we can get laws changed pretty quickly. And we regularly do it.
There are stories of Latinos voting, of Latinos organizing, of Latinos becoming citizens in record numbers, and of Latinos coming together to ensure that they have a voice not just in 2016, but in 2017 and beyond. And with Hillary Clinton as president, we know that we will have that voice in the administration. And it's why we will all work together to make sure that we do everything possible to win, not just at the presidential, but all the way down the ticket for people like Astrid, Cortez, Masto, and Ruben, Kihuen.
So there you have it, folks. That was, of course, Yvanna Cancela telling about the Latino takeover and how we need to have more Latino representation into our elected officials. That's what this is about. This is not really about representation. This seems that it's a lot about takeover. It's an invasion. And they are working with individuals like Astrid Silva, the DACA recipient, who has been accused of voter manipulation in 2016 election. There's a lawsuit that's been filed about this. I hope you investigate it, to basically carry on their whole Latino La Raza agenda. That's what you have, ladies and gentlemen, the National Council of La Raza. Just imagine if I held an organization about white people and how we need more white representation in the state and the local and the federal offices all across Clark County. Oh my gosh, there would be so outraged. The Culinary Workers Union, they can say, well, it's so great that we're having increased minorities and means more Democrat votes. But oh no, this double standard cannot be tolerated for white people and more Republican votes. So that's what this is about. She is from La Raza. This is what it's all about. And it's not really about the benefit of society. Okay, it's part of this globalist agenda, similar agenda that's happening in Europe with the Muslims. It's being happened here in this part of the world. And who is behind all this? Who can you guess? The one and only George Soros. Of course, because he's funding a lot of these movements. National Council of La Raza, NAACP, Black Lives Matter, anti-gun movements, feminist movements, environmental radical organizations. You go down the line. By the way, there are radical environmental organizations here in Las Vegas, just like that they are in California. And by the way, I heard Cap and Trade is using a lot of the money to funnel money to those who are here illegally. So Soros is behind this, and Soros is behind a lot of other PACs, like Emily's List. Believe it or not, Emily's List is a PAC that funded Cortez Masto, and it funded Jacky Rosen. not to mention several of these other people. And of course, it's funded by George Soros. Now, if you don't think that Jim Murren is not behind this, which is very likely the case, you must be a very naive person, because it's no doubt that Jim Murren, as I mentioned in those previous video, is working probably with billionaire Tom Steyer to really bring up their California-style takeover to Las Vegas and all over Clark County. Because there you have it. Tom Steyer is funneling money so much into campaigns. And of course, Jim Murren is behind this. I think Jim Murren is good friends with Yvanna Cancela, who is basically very likely to be a tool. And what they're doing is they're trying to manipulate the landscape. And by the way, Jim Murren is not just funding Democrats. He is also funding, if you look at his campaign contribution receipts, is also funding Republicans. For Heller, for Heck, based on my analysis, just go ahead, look it up. It's an illusion of choice. What this is about, it's a foreign takeover to reduce our American Anglo-Western values and replace our society with large inflows of people, of not just from Latin America, but from Asia, to bring in this whole replacement idea to manipulate our demographics. That's what this is all about. It's not about a safe, careful immigration plan. It's an immigration plan that's designed to destroy and manipulate the United States. This woman, Yvanna Cancela, is a tool of the Culinary Workers Union, and it's not really, in my opinion, about the benefit of society, about working wages. It's a tool to manipulate elections, to manipulate corrupt people into office. They were the ones that heavily backed Hillary Clinton over the less controversial candidates like Bernie Sanders. That's what this is all about. And they don't care, believe it or not, if they turn Las Vegas into Los Angeles. They don't care if they raise our taxes to pay for their programs. This is part of the greater Harry Reid agenda. That monster is putting his octopus legs all over our society. And by the way, it doesn't surprise me they were behind the whole transgender agenda about the vote over the Clark County Unified School District. You have to start waking up. And they bring up this whole idea that, oh, if you're against this, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you are out of your mind, you're a xenophobe, and all this double standard nonsense. It's time to expose about what in the world is really, really going on. So I have this article about the Nevada Independent. By the way, I hardly trust any of these news agencies. Almost all of them are corrupt, manipulative BS. But let's just take a look at what it says, because it's still good to read the articles and get a better interpretation from others about what this is about. So, as you can see here, Tom Steyer, the founder of NextGen America. By the way, NextGen has an organization here in Las Vegas, and they're recruiting young people. They're brainwashing them. They're using them as tools, just like Astrid Silva. Discussion on immigration on the Culinary Workers Union. So look at this. California billionaires influencing policies and everything that's happening here in Clark County. This is part of their invasion and takeover. If you want any proof that our society isn't being taken over, well, here it is. Right here. Tom Steyer, Yvanna Cancela, right here. This is what you have to really understand. Expose these people with the citizenship project. So, what they want is more of these illegals, these non-legal residents to become citizens so they can pump them for votes. That's what this is about. Oh, and the director of the UNLV Immigration Clinic, in case if you haven't noticed, guess what? Your taxpayer dollars, your money from billionaires is being used to pump up DACA dreamers so that they can manipulate the political landscape, they can get special interest favors, and they continue to support their politically correct agenda. That is a fact. Look it up. Look at this. Legal Defense Services, pilot program, $2.3 million, NextGen America. That's what this is about. People who broke the law are being rewarded to maintain their political gain. Legal representation, oh my gosh. Oh, right, so it's unfair to the people who did it legally like most of my family members did it. So, They don't have an access to a... Oh, so they need an access to a lawyer. Wow. This is just absolutely unbelievable. So during the visit of last August, the UNLV Immigration Clinic will receive $40,000. So you need to expose this. I went to this office and they didn't give me much information. They were shaking. They knew what was going on. Michael Kagan, which by the way, I'm going to have to approach him, and the director of the clinic said in the phone interview, it's set up right now as a one-year pilot program and both sides will have to reassess. Now look at this, $250,000 from lawyer Ed Bernstein. Wow, he has a lot of, believe it or not, ads and displays in a lot of billboards all across the Las Vegas Valley. Folks, you have to understand, you have to follow the money, you have to understand what is going on. Well, the clinic isn't taking money from the Democratic Party or isn't registered to vote. Oh, please. I'm sure they're committing fraud one way or another. Don't be so naive, all right? Be prepared for the worst. Be prepared that there's scams and there's all these different things. Cancellations to DACA and temporary protective status programs. It's temporary. Get over it. Okay? DACA was supposed to be temporary. ICE raids and everything. No, what we want to do mainly is to make sure that American citizens come first and we don't have foreigners manipulating our society to benefit and to basically pump up your anti-American agenda, Tom Steyer. You've destroyed California and you're not going to destroy my state. You're not going to destroy Las Vegas. So you can see right here, this is the article. So as you can see here, here's with all these representatives. Get to know these people. Get to know their faces. Expose what the hell is going on. NextGen America, Culinary Workers Union. They're all tied together. And this is all heavily tied, by the way, very likely by George Soros and MGM Resorts CEO Jim Murren. That is a fact. You want to talk about the real racists? They are the real racists. They are the anti-white, anti-male, anti-straight bigots. That is what's going on, folks. $10 million to public defenders. So they're doing the same thing here, but of course, they're getting it from billionaire money, as a matter of fact. Or they're doing it to universities, not from city or county or state governments. Because, unfortunately, thank goodness, they haven't fully taken over this part of the country. But they can. And you need to expose them. You need to get out there and really expose the truths. All right? Now, I want to show you some profiles, as you can see. And before I get into further, this is largely involved with Wall Street corporations. I find it so hypocritical that basically the Democratic Party claims is to be the party of inequality, income, and anti-Wall Street. Well, you're using Wall Street money to pump your agendas. It's just so hypocritical. Wall Street wants cheap labor, and that's why the GOP, many of them have been so hypocritical about this immigration plan. And you know, the sad part is everybody loses when you're talking about the everyday common person. So it's kind of like this whole feminist idea. By the way, this guy right here, I just wanted to show you, I've confronted him many times. I believe he has, you know, ran after me, approached me like he's some sort of bodyguard. And I'll hopefully come after him too in terms of exposing the truth. They didn't let me in the SEIU meeting, which Astrid Silva was in there. So you need to really get the truth out there. And just like feminism, both men and women are losing. So many people are losing. It's just so disgusting and hypocritical about how this is happening. And by the way, feminism, family court lie, I suggest you look into the campaign of Michael McDonald. He's running for assembly right here in Clark County. And I'm just so disgusted about how these family court systems are working. And by the way, massive immigration and family law and feminism, they're all heavily tied together. They're all about destroying American families, preventing from new ones from forming, and bringing massive third world population to change the demographics and to supplement the age gap in our society. That's what this is about. So you need to expose and get out there about what is exactly what's going on. Okay? So anyway, I want to show you some future events. So if you're really pissed off, you should probably join me about future events that's going on pretty soon. I'm going to show you some links. And first of all, as you can see here, the Nevada Immigrant Coalition blocked me. For some reason, I didn't even comment or like anything, but I guess they find me and they're scared to know the truth. By the way, I've met a lot of these people, and they all despise me. They know the scam behind this. This is not about staying in America, folks, mainly. This is about taking over our society. And we're waking up, we're exposing the scam. And we know that voting in elections is not enough. We have to take to the streets. I'm going to counter these protesters on May Day and expose the lies and deception. So I'm going to get you the events, as you can see here. If you want to take a look, if you're interested, as you can see, let's see if I can find any events in the neighborhood. The thing is that Yvanna Cancela is having a town hall meeting, I believe around April. I don't know which time it is. Let me go to my YouTube channel and also my Facebook page. And I'm going to show you exactly events that you can actually look into. So, as you can see here, I attend a lot of these events. I expose the truth and get the word out there like crazy. So you can see here there's a community town hall, as you can see here. It's at the Mesquite Club right here. And there's going to be Yvanna Cancela right there, April 4th at St. Louis Avenue. So you can also find Commissioner G, and you can also find, believe it or not, Assemblywoman Swank. They're all going to be attending here. Get the truth out, get the word out. I can't go alone. A lot of people have to go in there and see what in the world is going on, because we're going to find out what is the real game and the real clear picture behind all this. So this is going to be April 4th, Wednesday, if you want to guys take a look. And also I wanted to show you that there's a Defend Immigration Rights panel. March for Science is having a meeting. And May Day is having a meeting as well. So this is the Defend Immigration Rights panel. As you can see here, join us to discuss DACA, TPS. They're having this at UNLV. Looks like they're trying to brainwash people. April 10th, Tuesday, 11 a.m. Get out there, get the information out there, spread this video, and attend these meetings. Because I can't do this alone, ladies and gentlemen. Now watch the two following mini parts of this entire video where I counter the UNLV anti-gun rally, but also the event where I was discussing and sharing the idea and the truth about Jim Murren and Astrid Silva, which they didn't have much to talk about because it really exposes their true colors.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a couple of people I'm trying to expose across Clark County. Number one is the CEO of MGM Resorts International, Jim Murren. I think he's done a lot of shady activities. I think we should do an investigation of his campaign contributions. He funds the Southern Poverty Law Center, Center for American Islamic Relations. He sold a large share of his stock before the October 1st disaster. I think that he is certainly delivering a lot of conflicts to this area, and I think his company should be broken up. So can you do an investigation on Jim Murren and who he is? And also do an investigation on Astrid Silva, the DACA recipient who's got accused of manipulating the last year's election. So a report has been filed to the Secretary of State.
those are not really public interest necessarily, but specific to those individuals. I mean, depends on the evidence and the information you're talking about.
What's your response to that?
Certainly, anybody can investigate, and in keeping with the topic here, a lot of that stuff is a matter of public record. So that's where you start searching in campaign contributions, foundations. If there are donations to 501c3s, those are public records. If there are court records, if there have been lawsuits filed, those are the places that a reporter would start with records to see what is a matter of public record that can be actually evidence that's proven, because that's the only thing you can work with.
And even the same thing with Astrid Silva, the DACA recipient.
Sure.
Because if she has, because it's one thing to stay here because it's tough in another country, but if they're meddling with elections and doing things like identity theft, then that's a totally different story.
Well, but allegations need to be backed up with evidence, and public records are part of that evidence that can be collected. So.
Okay, please look into it. Thank you.
Second Amendment! Second Amendment! Second Amendment! Second Amendment! Second Amendment! Second Amendment! What's wrong with that? Thank you, appreciate it. Second Amendment! Second Amendment! Right to bear arms! Yes.
Space has been rented by them. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? You need to go over there. I'm going to ask you one time. I'm going to tell you now to go.
Concrete?
Right over there. That's
Concrete.
where you're going to go.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Second Amendment. Second Amendment. Second Amendment. Second Amendment. Second Amendment. We support guns. We support guns. We support guns. Background checks is necessary. Mental health is important. If you want. Thank you. Thank you. Support the Second Amendment. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, they pushed me out here. Go ask them. I guess
Aren't they letting you speak what you're...
I know. They are siding with these people.
The ones that say you're sinning.
Do you speak Spanish by any chance?
Un poquito.
Un poquito?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is free speech.
Just do as much as you can, and if you can, people from
But you know those like guys that come out and say you're sinning and stuff. There are a lot of them. And they're always in front of you.
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, my name is Astrid.
So nice to meet you.
I'm a reporter for the Free Press here on campus.
Thank you. Thank you.
So first off, what's your name? Please spell.
My name is Cyrus Hojati.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Could you just stand right there? Don't move too much.
Yeah, go ahead and
Sorry,
I can wait. You're good.
Stand right there. Try not to move.
Okay.
Okay, just look at me. You're en español. Tu nombre?
Mi nombre es Cyrus Hojati.
Could you spell your name, please?
Cyrushojjaty.
Dime por qué estás aquí hoy.
I'm kind of nervous.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Why are you here today? Why are you...
I want to get some information. Like, I don't know what these people want. Do they want to ban all guns? I mean, it's against the Constitution. So, I mean, they say, limiting certain guns, but, when they support these politicians, they end up banning all the guns. And then we see what's happened in Chicago. We see what's happened in California. We see what's happened in Paris. So you got like 100 or more people that passed away a couple of years ago. So, I just think this is really a mental health issue. I do think we need background checks, no question about it. But I think the real problem is our lifestyle. You got all these prescription drugs and everything that make people go cuckoo. So I think that's what's really the problem. That is the real focus that we got to focus on. And, it's kind of shocking to see you got Black Lives Matter and immigrant groups and environmental groups that are siding with these people. It's kind of shocking to me.
Thank you. Your name, please?
My name is Cyrus Hojati.
Spell your
You
name
got to
and last
respect
name,
the
please?
Constitution. Cyrus, Hojjaty. Hey, thank you so much for interviewing me. Telemundo, appreciate it. And remember, it's the lifestyle that matters. The lifestyle, the environment. That's the important thing. You can't. I mean, banning things won't do much. So, as you can see here, Telemundo just interviewed me right here.
Can I talk to you? I just have a question.
Thank you so much. Please.
You're a student here?
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Thank you.
So, I mean, obviously you felt so strongly that you felt that you needed to speak. You know, what is it that you really want to tell people that are at this event?
Well, look, California has gun control stricter than we do. Chicago has stricter gun control laws. So why are their gun murderers much higher? Why has Paris had that massive shooting event with like 100 or more people? And we're talking a different part of the world. So how do you explain that? So I think what we need to do is we need to focus on the environment, the daily lives, the lifestyle that people have. That's the problem. You know, we had all these guns like 60 years ago, but we had one of the lowest murder rates in American history. So what's happening now? Is it the guns? I doubt it. Well, we have to look back at what laws they did. I'm not 100% sure, but they had those guns. So you got to understand that it is really the environment that's the problem. You know, look at our lifestyle, the commutes, the prescription drugs, you know, the lack of love and respect, the lack of family life. That's what we need in this. Families, we need more nuclear families. Stop this idea of children are being born out of wedlock. You know, we have a lot of people that don't have a father in the household. That really has a significant impact on people's lives, in their incomes and everything else. Particularly the people of color. But we don't talk about that. You know?
Mm-hmm. No, I completely understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See, it's funny how Planned Parenthood has, you know, cost the lives of so many people, but we always blame on guns. Knives and everything, they've cost the lives of many, many people. So that's exactly what's going on. Yes, Second Amendment. We support the Second Amendment. Woo!